Welcome to Senior Here, where you come for all your media needs. My name is Ray.
It's your boy Nikki Tate.
And today, we are reviewing Hereditary.
Directed by Ari Aster, starring Toni Collette, Alex Wolff, and Millie Shapiro. Hereditary, currently touted as the scariest movie of the year. Woo! Those are some big shoes to fill. Now note, this year we had Insidious come out, an Insidious movie. The Strangers, the second one. A Quiet Place, which everybody loved. But now Hereditary is said to be scarier than those films. Well, we saw it.
Boy, did we see it.
And I didn't think it was that scary.
Boy, was it not that scary.
I don't think it is as scary as the hype made it seem. Is it a good movie? Yes. Is it weird? Yes. Does it have elements that would make people scared? Yes. But it's not the scariest movie ever. Not the scariest movie I've even seen. Currently, Hereditary is being called the new Exorcist. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, and the new Exorcist. Yes, well, let's set some framework here for Hereditary. So the film, starts instantly off with a death. There's a funeral, and we can see that there is a mom, there is a dad, there is a son and a daughter who have been connected to this individual. We'll just say it is their grandmother. It is the parent of the mom. That's no spoiler. I mean, it happens literally at the beginning of the film.
And also in the trailer.
In the trailer as well. Now, after her death, this family is now being haunted by spirits and visions of the loved one lost. And from there, the film goes and it weaves this somewhat interesting tale of what is actually going on. Now, again, does this sound like the scariest movie you've ever heard of? Or does it sound, let's say, like a Paranormal Activity, if you will, or Insidious, or The Conjuring? I mean, these movies aren't new. This isn't a new premise. What makes Hereditary the scariest movie ever?
I think this movie really did not know where direction that they wanted to go in. I think this movie had an identity crisis. Do you want to be a psychological thriller, or do you want to be a paranormal or supernatural, scary horror movie? And I think that this parallel between both these two categories is kind of what made this movie feel not complete. I kind of wanted them to take more of a direction one way or another instead of dangling both of these carrots in front of our face.
That's an interesting point you bring up. The film does walk a very tight line in something that is buried in what most would consider reality, and something that leans into this space where if you're not super religious, you might not believe it. I don't have a huge problem with that, but it does take away from the element of scare when you swing back and forth between the two. The film definitely starts one way and ends a totally different way than where you probably saw it ending, which again could be scary if my expectations weren't set already. It's really hard to talk about this film without giving spoilers, I just realized. But the movie itself, again, isn't terrible, but it isn't as scary as other people are seeing. Maybe I have to see this in the dark. Maybe I have to take somebody else who is very scared of scary movies and get calibrated, because this movie did not do it for me.
And this is the thing about this movie. What makes it a very watchable movie, the acting was phenomenal.
Oh, yes.
I would even go so far to say probably some of the best acting in a scary movie I've ever seen.
I would even go as far as to say Oscar-worthy acting from Toni Collette.
Oh my God, it was she did an amazing job.
Absolutely amazing acting.
Oh my God.
From Toni Collette. She is what actually made the movie for me propel forward. Other than the help with Millie Shapiro just being an absolutely creepy
little girl
on screen.
You don't think I'm gonna take care of you?
When you die.
I'm talking more, and again, not Exorcist scary, more like Orphan scary, right?
Very
Like
creepy.
I don't know what you're gonna do next, and I don't want to really find out. Again, was Orphan the scariest movie ever? No. Was it scary? Yeah, it had some scares. And I think Hereditary is just another film in that same vein where it has a lot of elements, but the hype is just a little bit much.
Now, this movie was very, very, very creepy. It was a very creepy and somewhat disturbing movie.
Very weird.
Very weird. And I think that's probably the angle they were going for. But I want to be scared. Like, when I go see a scary movie, I just want to be scared.
Yes.
I want to give me what The Conjuring can give me. Like, give me those moments of like, oh my God.
Give me The Ring.
Yes, like give me some of those movies.
That just bone gripping fear where you can't go to sleep at night. I can tell you all, I will sleep peacefully.
This movie took us on a 2-hour ride. 2 hours. All of that could have been summed up in about an hour and 20 minutes. This movie had a lot of fluff, a lot of unneeded and unwanted amount of time spent on screen with things I did not care about or did not scare me. And I can definitely say that. But, and in all that time, in that whole 2 hours, 2 hours, we get all the way to the end. All of this somewhat build up, all of this tension, all of this creepiness, and what kind of movie am I watching? And, you know, all these ideas that's going through your head. And then the ending was so bad. The ending was bad. And that's another reason why this movie just faltered. It was because it just did not end as well as I wanted it to. It just didn't. It fell short for me. For me. I cannot speak for everybody. But for me, I'm letting you know, the ending really fell short from what you wanted. From what you wanted. After watching the 2-hour movie and, like I said, getting amazing acting. Somewhat creepy story. If the movie would have ended better, I probably would have left the theater a lot more satisfied. But the movie really did not end well to me. Was it a terrible ending? No. But what I wanted, I did not get.
The film was definitely long. 2 hours is a bit lengthy for a horror film. It also was very slow to start with, a very slow burn film. I think the first jump scare in the whole film didn't occur until 15 or 20 minutes within the film. And even then, I mean, it wasn't a true jump scare. The ending is not what I wanted, but I wouldn't say bad. I think bad is a bit extreme. It just isn't as creepy as what I would have thought after 2 hours of waiting for it. This film doesn't climb and fall like a mountain within the plot. It's more of plateaus, and every time you reach kind of this new plot point, there is a lull in waiting for the next one. Hereditary. Not the scariest film of the year. In closing, again, this movie isn't bad. It's just not what the hype is making it seem right now. Maybe in a few years, I can go back and watch this movie and appreciate some of the artistic flair that definitely is within it. But for now, I have to say, after watching it, I wasn't that scared, but I definitely do appreciate the almost realistic take they took with the movie, other than, you know, the paranormal elements that were involved. My final rating would have to be a 7.3. Not terribly low, but not great for a movie touted as highly as this one.
Hereditary, the best not scary movie. That is what I would call this movie. It was a artsy horror movie.
Ooh, that's a good one.
There we go. We can call it an artsy horror movie.
Artsy horror movie.
And that is not what I wanted when I went in this theater. So, in closing, I probably gonna have to leave this movie off with a 6.75. It did not quite make the 7 mark that I originally thought. And that's kind of what I was aiming for when I left the theater. But the more and more I sat and talked about this movie, the less and less the rating dropped. One big thing you could take away from this movie is an acting. And I will not deny some of the best acting I've seen in a horror movie in my lifetime. And that is what propelled this movie to even come close to a 7.
That completes the movie review for Hereditary. Again, Toni Collette did an amazing job. I agree with everything every article is saying about her performance, about Millie Shapiro. They made the film. As Ray said within the review, it is an artsy horror film. And when you do that, it's very tough to still make it scary. You know, think about an artsy Friday the 13th. Like, that just sounds crazy. But again, you know, we see these movies, we give you our takes, but we are just two men. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Either way, we would like to know. And we can only know that if you like, comment within, you know, the video itself. If you do like what we're saying, then that's when you subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all of our reviewing content. And as always, don't forget, you've seen it here.